All right, blessings, everyone. Okay, good morning. All right, this has been very difficult for me to get out. This has been a very strong word. How to put it all together without me getting personally involved in all of this, and there's just no way I can do this. So I'm just going to talk as we go along, okay? But this is definitely going somewhere. I don't know when this will end or how it's going to end, but I do know that this is definitely going somewhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read this out, and I've got two clips that I'm going to play. There's two videos, and one video where they actually allow us to hear the sound that is attacking a certain group, and this group is under the age of 26. So they're going after our children with these sonic weapons, and they're putting it in the hands of the ignorant, truly. I mean, this video that I'm going to show you, I mean, if you listen to the conversation on the reasons why they have the sonic weapons that are put out in their homes, it's sick, okay? It's just sick, and this is how, they're very bold and they're very aggressive, and this is what I call a seared mind, okay? Again, I'm just going to go through this. I'm going to show that video. I recommend that I'll put everything in the description and the marker so you will go, you can go straight to the sound. All right. Another thing that I have to say about this, what you're going to hear, was the same sound that was in my ears the night that I was saved. Now, this is really important. I'm not going to do a video just yet on myself at this point, on why I feel that I'm very close to within these programs of the MK Ultra. There's so much here that I'm overwhelmed. So you're going to hear this sound, and it was this piercing that went through my ears, which was a lot louder. I mean, I thought I was going to die because of the pain. That's all I can say here, how I can explain it. I really thought I was going to die. When I heard the piercing and it went through my ears and into my head, that the sound was so loud that I really felt like I was going to explode. And I heard a voice very clear in my head say, "Do you want to live or do you want to die?" And that's when I really was going to say die, because I wanted to stop the pain. And then I said, "No, I want to live. I want to live. Oh, Jesus, I want to live." And then all of a sudden he just comes in and banishes all of it. Like it didn't even happen. The only way you're going to get through this is through Jesus. It is the only way. He is the only way. And I'm not talking scripture here. I'm talking about the attack that night. And he came in and bang, just banished them like a blink of an eye. This really hurt. This was very painful. All right. I'm just going to start reading, okay? And we'll talk as we go along. I would normally, shut it off every time I cried, but I'm not going to do that anymore. I'll just, I'm just going to pause it, straighten up, and then come back to you. So that's what I'm doing. I'm pausing. All right. Many of them were physicians guilty of mind control experiments at the concentration camps such as Dachau, where the effects of mescaline and other mind-altering drugs were tested on prisoners. One such physician was Dr. Kurt Plantern. Another Nazi transplant was Dr. Hubertus Stronghold, who went on to become the director of the United States Air Force School of I cannot pronounce it. I'm tongue-tied with that. Medicine at Randolph AFB in San Antonio, Texas. Others were close to Stronghold. Others close to Stronghold were tried at Nuremberg trials. However, he amazingly avoided accusation and interrogation and has a library dedicated to him at Randolph Brooks AFB in Texas. Ironically, all of the armed force research on direct energy weapons is based on the Brooks City base situated on the southeast side of San Antonio, Texas. Okay, this is important. Ironically, all of the armed forces research on direct energy weapons is also based on at Brooks City base situated on southeast side of San Antonio, Texas. Undoubtedly, many of the doctors who began mind control research in Germany were allowed to continue the research in the United States. The OSS became the CIA, and the horrors of Dachau became government funds projects with code names like MK Ultra, MK Search, Artichoke, and Bluebird. Similar to the concentration camp victims in Nazi Germany, the American public will become the unwilling guinea pigs of most of these government-funded abuses of human rights. Okay. The descriptions of certain sub-projects MK Ultra in the chapter are based on the documents released by the government and not conjured conjecture on the part of the author. Okay, while many of the documents were heavily redacted, a definite link can be made to the complaints of continuing mind control experimentation today.
This device is called the Mosquito. It may look like a security light, but it's a lot more inventive than that. It's designed by a British company to ward off gangs of kids who hang around outside shops, generally making a nuisance of themselves. And it does so by emitting an ultra-high frequency sound that is painful to anyone under the age of 25. It's similar to the non-lethal sound weapons used by the US Army in Iraq to combat rioters, and incredibly, it's designed to only affect people under 25. I wonder. On the left, we have the girls. They're both 24. And on the right, we have the boys. They're both the other side of 25. In theory, the girls should be susceptible to the Mosquito, and the boys shouldn't. So, let's find out. Now, we should warn you that those of you at home under 25 will be able to hear this through your TV speakers, and it might be uncomfortable. So if you don't fancy it, run away now. Have they gone? Good. Then we can begin. Those of you blessed with youth who are watching at home should be able to hear this right now. Our youthful gadgeteers certainly can.
It's extremely high-pitched, very, very, very high-pitched noise. It's just really squeaky. It's like an irritating, piercing, your brain type sound.
I can't hear it. Can you hear anything?
Can't hear a thing.
You're older than me.
Oh well, there we go.
Can we turn it off now, please?
It works by emitting a high-pitched ultrasonic tone that is really unpleasant to anyone that hears it. Brilliantly, due to natural hearing deterioration, the frequency is one that most people over 25 can't actually hear anymore, so it should just target the young tearaways.
Now then, would you use a gadget that emits a high-frequency pitch to keep children from playing loudly outside your home?
Well, this couple are currently facing a fine from their local council after installing an anti-child gadget called a Mosquito following a 6-year battle with their neighbours. But is this a step too far?
Daily Mirror columnist Alison Phillips certainly thinks so, but journalist Samantha Brick says that every home in Britain should have one. You misery.
I think we're living in extreme times, aren't we, Philip? And extreme times call for extreme measures. And I know you think,
Are we though?
bah humbug.
Are we?
Things happen. Yeah, I think we are, Holly, because they're all little incidences. For example, me in the homes I've lived with over the years, I've had graffiti daubed on my wall by a 10-year-old. I've had my letterbox vandaled, and you think, oh God, get
So
real.
you need a sonic weapon to defend
But
yourself.
you don't know when it's going to happen again. You don't know if the incidents are going to escalate. You don't know if they might try and break in 5 years' time, because no one is putting the brakes on their behaviour. And it's not their fault, it's the parents' fault. But if the parents aren't doing anything about it, I totally
But do you think
sympathise
this
with them.
teaches a good lesson? I mean, if the way that you fight this then is to go, right, okay, here's a great lesson. So the parents aren't dealing with their behaviour, so I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to show them the best way to deal with this is to do something that's going to hurt them. That's a good lesson, isn't it?
We're living in a society where we are putting kids at the focus of society, and it's, everyone else, you're second place to our children. And that isn't a good message. It isn't a good message for the future or for society, I don't think.
Well, in case anybody doesn't know what it actually sounds like, we obviously the noise that we're talking about is audible only to certain generations, to youngsters. So we've ranked it up so that everyone can hear it. So this is in our audible hearing range, and that's what it sounds like.
I mean, that is.
So if you change that,
horrible,
you change the pitch, and gradually it disappears to us. We can't hear it because we're too old, and you can only hear it if you are a child. Right, we can stop that now. Thank you very much, Tim. And this is just stopping the playing out, surely.
I think it's absolutely barbaric. I mean, if we have got a problem in this country at the moment, it's that children aren't playing out enough. Not that. So we've got all the problem with obesity. That's because children are inactive. And we've also got the problem of children not being able to create good functioning relationships with the adults because they're stuck in front of a smartphone or an Xbox. What we want children playing out, and children, when they play, they are noisy, and it's not something of our times. Adults have always complained about children making so much noise, and children have made lots of noise.
Boundaries. Children need to respect that they live in a society, in a neighbourhood, in an environment with other people, and they need to respect them.
I think most children do.
They don't.
I think.
Okay. However, as a whole, the sub-projects ranged from drug testing to behavioral studies and much, much more. The recurring theme in all of the studies was the attempt to control human emotion, human thought, and human behavior by any means available.
This was where I got my instructions. So, we go around Travis Park, which is right here to the right. Okay, now I'm going to take a right. St. Anthony's right behind us. We don't need to videotape it, but here we go. Let me let these guys cross the street. So anyway, right here. Okay, Chris, right here. There's Michael is right. Why don't you zoom out a little bit? Zoom out. Okay. Right there, Michael is standing there walking. I get out of the car. Okay, now you can just zero in on me. I get out of the car and I start talking to him, and I'm weeping. I'm just crying. I'm like, I don't understand. What am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? And he looks at me very calmly and he says, Jonathan, that little voice you hear, that's God speaking to you now. Learn to trust his voice. And I'm just mesmerized. And then he says, and every little thing you get to eat, and every little thing you get to drink, even if it's water, thank God for all of it, because it all comes from him. And then I just go, okay, but what am I supposed to do? Where am I supposed to go? And he says, Jonathan, don't worry, you'll know what to do. You'll know what to do. You'll know where to go. And he tells me, learn to trust the voice inside of you. God is speaking to you now. And I was just going, oh my gosh. So I said, okay, well, and I'm like, dude.
And thy ears shall hear a word behind thee saying, This is the way, walk in it, when you turn to the right hand and when you turn to the left. Hear a word behind thee. Isaiah 30:21.